If you are near the Guadalupe River in Kerr County, Texas, you need to get out.
Good evening. They say they were told to target people of color while on the job.
We took no action on any of the items discussed.
There was only one family that was out. Nobody else answered.
Are they going to get out?
They said they would.
Okay, this water's going to keep going up.
Holloway was arrested last week, fired from his job, and charged with 2 third-degree felonies and 1 Class A misdemeanor.
This is probably the worst weather event that I've ever covered here. And I have one person.
Doesn't just go between musicians. We are connected to the radio stations, the DJs.
She posted that that was kind of near Junction, and she posted that around 4 or 5 in the morning.
Not the venue. I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to ask you to leave.
Okay. Stop watching this video. Call them right now and tell them to get out, because this is looking worse than... On July 4th, 2025, at 3:28 a.m., I was transcribing using Otter a 44-minute audio clip that I had recorded about a breaking news website that I had set to launch on July 4th. Going back now and listening to the audio. I think for breaking news stories, it should be pushed to 15 minutes, but normally, like, you can hear the thunder in the background. Any local news source should pull should be like 30 minutes, and it should only go back to the last article pulled. We don't need... While I was waiting for the audio to transcribe, I pulled up Facebook and was looking at my Facebook feed when I saw it. The post I saw showed the southwest corner of Kerr County with 7.2, 7.8, and 6.0 inches of rain over the last 24 hours. The poster said heavy rain is now causing flash flooding, and it said avoid travel in this area. I didn't know how serious it was, or it was becoming. Unfortunately, either could anyone else, because their main source of quick, fast emergency information was shut down. My big Kerrville breaking news group was essentially shut off by Justin and Leslie McClure. If you notice the graphic on the screen, it shows Highway 39, but it doesn't show where the Guadalupe River is. So I went and I dug for a map of the Guadalupe River, and I put it next to the radar. And then at 3:48 a.m., I posted on my personal Facebook page. And then at 3:48 a.m., I posted on my personal Facebook page inquiring if all of this water was going to go through Hunt, Ingram, and into Kerrville, because it seemed so far south. And I started searching Facebook, and I could not find anything about the flood at that time. Anything. There was nothing. The only information that I had was from the National Weather Service at 4:03 a.m.
I think everyone in Kerrville, everyone in Kerr County wishes to God we'd had some way to warn them.
You did. It was called Kerrville Breaking News.
The outside consequences of this geoengineering.
To warn those people.
What's in the activity log? We're going to get to that.
These guys up there to do this.
I've lost 2 friends. We left them.
It is. It's kind of frustrating to get one answer that.
And they're gone. They're gone. Everyone here, if we could have warned them.
This documentary is not made for children. I repeat, do not watch this documentary with children anywhere around you. And if you don't understand what's going on yet, watch part 1 and watch part 2 and watch this until the end. and then tell me that everyone in the area did everything they could to warn them. And then tell me that nobody tried to cover up what they did or what they didn't do. In the first two parts, we were setting the table. Part 3 is called The Silence of the JAMS. Throughout 2024, Michaela rebuilt her life in Kerrville. She had surgeries. She secured a full-time job working remote. And by October, both of her boys lived with her again. Over the holidays in 2024, Michaela stumbled upon the $36,000 Carlson law firm deal. She finally realized that when Justin McClure told her that he wanted $1,500 to give her back the groups that she owned, it didn't sit well. It was at that moment she realized that Justin McClure did not have Michaela's best interest in mind at all. And throughout this entire time, she had had Justin's best interest in mind. Otherwise, she would have never let them use the groups and page in the first place. January 15th, 2025, 11:32 p.m., Michaela says to Justin, "I want my groups and pages back, Justin. I forgot about this. I think you did too," and sent Justin the contract from Carlson Law Firm. Then she goes, "I'm sure everything will go smoothly." The next morning at 7:31 a.m., Justin replied, "Wow, I thought we were past all this. What a roller coaster. We had a deal and we lived up to our end of it. Not sure what you mean with Carlson, but if you want to sue us, then come on. I will now disconnect from you." Sue you? I closed that after I left Jam, was my point. Justin says, "Michaela, not time to add this stress to the other stress I'm already dealing with. We more than took care of and backed your family up. We had a deal, and we lived up to our end. My wife has been taking care of Carlson. Not sure why we keep looping back." Michaela said, "The commission from that was way more than anything you helped with." Justin said, "You get paid for taking care of and servicing the account. You left, so therefore you were not able to care for and service that account. You left." Michaela quoted Justin's promise from October 26, 2022. Back, Justin McClure. Justin says, "Goodbye." Michaela says 72 hours. Justin says, "Wow, I don't understand why you were after me." Like Michaela was after him. "Is there something you need help with, or are you in a crack or something?" Michaela said, "Those groups and pages are my family's. They will go to my kids. All I'm doing is making things right when it shouldn't have been on me too in the first place. You know how I am when it comes to my kids." Then Michaela said, "Motives were revealed the day Leslie got access to them. Leslie needs to make me the admin of Kerrville Breaking News, Fredericksburg Breaking News." Michaela meant to say Bandera Breaking News and Texas Breaking News. Then she says, "You can allow anyone to finish out whatever deal they have. Leslie can be a moderator or editor. I don't like the strong arm, but you gave me no choice. Again, these belong to my family. I already lost them once in a bad business deal and paid $10K to get them back when I worked for you. I was being nice and let you use them, and also seeing where your motives were, Justin. Leslie's are so clear. I think of you as better. I can't believe we are even having this conversation. I have to get ready and take my kiddo to the doctor. You won't hear from me until Sunday. Hasta." Within minutes, Michaela was blocked from all of her groups and page. Like they had this planned. Michaela didn't have money to go file a lawsuit, so she did what she knew how to do. She got creative She told her story through abstract video art over the next 72 hours.
Open up the skies and let the rain fall. Let the water wash our bodies clean. Feel the clouds descend onto the ground. Lay down and dream a dream. Open up our eyes and let the tears out. Gathering in pools around our feet. Shards of light are cutting through the charcoal colored air like a knife. Go deep. And your heart in my hands feels like home, and we are there alone together. And my heart in your hands feels as sweet as summer air. And your heart in my hands feels like home, and we are there alone together. And my heart in your hands feels as sweet as summer air. So open up the skies and let the rain fall. Let the water wash our bodies clean. Feel the clouds descend onto the ground. Lay down and dream a dream.
And she went public for community awareness. Because if Justin and Leslie McClure would steal from her when she was at her lowest, then to her, they would steal from anyone who is vulnerable that had something that they wanted. So, on MichaelaTaylor.com, she put up a public awareness page. Michaela's LLC, Golden Hills Marketing LLC, was still under forfeiture at this time, and she tried to explain that. She also put up the documents, including the DBA, that showed that she was the owner of Kerrville Breaking News. Then she says, "You sat there at that table in your kitchen, looked me in the eye, next to your wife, who also looked me in the eye, and told me that if I came back, you would give my groups and pages back. I tell you, I'm ready for you to keep your word, and y'all do this. And somehow I'm the bad guy? Nah, I'm not the bad guy here. Either you're a man of your word, or you're not." Justin's response was, "Quit contacting me or my family." And Michaela said, "Thank you for the clarification." And Michaela knew at this point that Justin was going to try to get her charged with harassment if she contacted him again. So she did not text him again until July 4th at 5:46 in the morning. But we'll get there. Michaela knew that Justin would try to get her charged with harassment if she texted him again. But sending a gift is something totally different. So Michaela gifted Justin and Leslie McClure their very own clown suits in a gift box from Amazon. And inside of that gift box, there was a note, and in that note it said, "Y'all are a couple of clowns if you think you're just going to walk away with someone else's hard work." At 2:32 p.m. on January 31st, Justin McClure filed a police report with the Kerrville Police Department. The description was harassment, unfounded. The person who would take the report was Ed Holloway. Ed Holloway was an investigator that usually worked on felony cases like murders and robberies. According to a witness, Toby Appleton called Chief Chris McCall, and then Chris McCall assigned Ed Holloway a detective to investigate this unfounded allegation of harassment. On February 25th, 2025, Ed Holloway at Kerrville City Council presented anti-choking devices for children that his police foundation would provide to all of the officers in Kerrville, and then try to use that to gain entry to Michaela Taylor's apartment just a few weeks later.
Make it not try to go real long. So this was something that was brought to my attention by our community service officer, Sergeant Jack Lamb, and I started looking at videos about it. And I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with it, but it's called a life back system, and it's kind of like an anti-choking device.
By this time, Michaela knew about the alleged harassment complaint because she'd seen the public records where the police had been called to JAM Broadcasting's address. She was not prepared for what would happen next. March 4th, 2025, 9:51 a.m. Page 1 of 87. Michaela received a text message from Ed Holloway. It said, "Good morning. I saw your number on a Facebook post and was meaning to reach out to you. Not sure if you remember me, but my name is Ed Holloway. I work at KPD. You presented me with the one and only Kerrville Breaking News Officer of the Year Award back in 2017. Feels like a lifetime ago. LOL. Anyways, I recently created the Kerrville Police Association and wanted to keep you updated on events we may have or fundraising events that will happen in the future. If that's not something you are interested in, no worries." And of course, Michaela said, "I would love to help with that any way I can. And Ed Holloway says, awesome, would love to meet with you and talk to you about some ideas and get some input. And Michaela said, that was the one and only ever award. I just realized that, LOL. And he goes, yep, haha, and sends a picture of him with the Kerrville Breaking News Officer of the Year award. And then he says, I got in trouble for my speech. Now, Michaela could sense that something was completely off with this. First of all, she had been reduced to 1,500 people in the Kerrville Breaking News group that she had just restarted because her other groups and pages were gone. So she really didn't have the following that she had before, and it just didn't make sense. And then Ed said, sometimes the truth hurts. And Michaela said, it's everything though. Just let me know when you are free and available and we can meet and discuss. You may have seen on the City of Kerrville Facebook page, but just got done doing a fundraising for LifeVac, anti-choking tool. It's like a reverse plunger and is safe for doing the Heimlich. It has saved thousands of lives. Got enough for every police officer here at KPD. Michaela replied, well, that's amazing and will save lives. I've heard the tones for kids choking several times over the years. I'm wrapping up a website design and launch for a tractor tool company. I'm about a week behind in school and I just took on videos for a podcast. And I'm building an automated Texas breaking news site, hoping to relaunch in the next day or two. So with that being said, I think one day next week should be good, LOL. I work remote for my main job, but can usually break away for an hour or so pretty much any time during the day. Just let me know what works for you. And then he invites Michaela to San Marcos for the first time. Then Ed says, I'm pretty flexible and can meet when you are available. Only week I am not available is March 6th through March 21st, unless you want to come to San Marcos, LOL. I have an arson investigation conference that week. And then Michaela doesn't reply. And then Ed, at 10:56 p.m., over 8 hours later, says, just waiting for you to text back. Michaela says, sorry. How does the 10th or 11th look? I should be somewhat caught up by then. I am just giving you a hard time, LOL, said Ed. Either day is fine. I can come to you if that is easier on you. Michaela says, I do want to help you. Maybe at lunch somewhere or something. Ed says, I can just meet you at your house. Unless you have dead midgets in your closet. The conversation shifted, became personal. Late into the night, Holloway made comments about her body. Kept discussing meeting at her home. Taylor shared her trauma, photos from when she was homeless, the breakdown, the betrayal by the McClures, her PTSD diagnosis. She was vulnerable. He knew it. And that was the point. Taylor asked if the McClures could be charged with exploitation of a disabled person. That was a lie. PTSD qualifies under Texas disability exploitation laws. Holloway was protecting the McClures while grooming their victim. March 5th, 2025. Detective Edward Holloway arrived at Michaela Taylor's apartment. He was wearing a bulletproof vest and slacks. He arrived in an unmarked police vehicle, an SUV, black. Her 13-year-old son was home, doing schoolwork in the next room. Holloway told Taylor the McClures had no case whatsoever against her. And then Detective Edward Holloway sexually assaulted Michaela Taylor. The officer sent to investigate her made his moves on her, alone, in her bedroom, with her 13-year-old kid in the next room. Over the next 5 days, Holloway sent hundreds of text messages. Explicit, relentless, demanding more. Taylor would only send text messages back to reply, trying to keep Ed Holloway from either arresting her or ruining her life. Photos, videos, requests for future encounters, demands that she find other women to join them. He gave her his official city email. He was doing this on duty, off duty, using his position, using his badge. Quid pro quo, or attempted, help her with her case in exchange for sex. But Michaela never sent him any evidence. And Michaela said she couldn't go to San Marcos with him. So if you're being held by a kidnapper and you're in danger, which Michaela knew she was in danger at this point, you play along with the kidnapper to keep them from killing you. Who was she gonna call? Chris McCall? She would make excuses every time Holloway would try to meet up with her, and never met up with him again. And then, silence for 5 months. It was later discovered that Detective Edward Holloway was under internal affairs investigation in March and April 2025 for a separate incident. In April 25, he was allowed to leave the Kerrville Police Department and go to the Gillespie County Sheriff's Office. Who handles internal affairs at the Kerrville Police Department? Well, according to the City of Kerrville website, that's Chief Chris McCall. Just 17 days after Holloway sexually assaulted Michaela, the chief was on vacation with Toby Appleton.
Doesn't just go between musicians. We are connected to the radio stations, the DJs.
Over a 3-day period, Chief McCall, from March 22nd to March 24th, 2025, was photographed at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards with Leslie McClure, Justin McClure, and Toby Appleton. First, Toby posted on March 22nd that they were at a restaurant about to go to Texas Live. And then Leslie went all out showing off her asset, Chris McCall, at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. In the same room, in a restricted area, with Michael Martin Murphy, who would win a Lifetime Achievement Award later that night, in the same room, next to guitars autographed by many artists. Michael Martin Murphy, Randy Rogers, Wade Bowen, Cross Canadian Ragweed, Billy Bob Thornton, Jam Broadcasting 99.1 The Buck, with special guest, Kerrville Police Chief Chris McCall.
To stand in solidarity with all the people to unify our community.
Holy smoke. Chief McCall and Toby Appleton are first pictured together in March 2023. 5 months later, in August, Chief McCall and the boys took a trip to Arlington, the home of the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, where, given by the look on his face, Toby Appleton looks like he's in heaven in 2024 with Justin McClure standing right beside him. Chief McCall owed Jam Broadcasting. Chief McCall assigned a veteran detective with 13 years on the force to investigate an unfounded harassment claim against Michaela Taylor. Jam Broadcasting had something Chris McCall wanted 17 days later, and Chris McCall had something Ed Holloway wanted, gone. They both got what they wanted. Jam Broadcasting got what they wanted, and their combined conspired against victim sexually assaulted with her 13-year-old child in the room next door, told that Ed Holloway's was going to be shoved down her throat. But that's not even the worst of this. Remember the end of part 1? When the Guadalupe River rose 30 feet in 90 minutes. I'm actually grateful that that's all we've seen floating down. Holy smoke. Read that top line. It says the flood hadn't yet hit Kerrville 10 miles downstream. Remember Michaela's post from that morning? Let's take a trip through Michaela's activity log and go back and find it. This one, right here.
Look at the velocity.
At 9:34 a.m., right after the first fatalities were announced. So I think it's safe to say at this time that there was a conspiracy between Leslie McClure, Justin McClure, Toby Appleton, Chris McCall, and Ed Holloway. The Pinkerton rule, under Pinkerton versus United States 328 U.S. 640 1946, all members of a conspiracy are liable for any reasonably foreseeable consequence of that conspiracy, even if they didn't directly commit the harmful act. The overt acts of January through March 2025, Justin McClure and Leslie McClure blocking Taylor from her company's platforms on January 16th, and the coordinated efforts to suppress her access to the emergency communication system directly caused Taylor to be locked out when she attempted to post the 3:43 a.m. flood warning on July 4th, making up to 119 victims a foreseeable consequence of converting an emergency warning platform in a flood-prone region. Why up to 119? Well, because nobody was allowed to post in Kerrville Breaking News after 6 p.m. on July 3rd. This means that if Reese Zunker tried to post and warn people who was a member of Kerrville Breaking News, he couldn't. Him, his wife Paula, and our 2 children died from the flood that morning. They were staying between Camp Mystic and Camp La Junta. But what about the other end, down in Kerrville, where the water wouldn't reach for hours later? With all the media attention upstream, it seemed like some downstream didn't get that much media attention. And then I came upon Leonardo Romero, Natalia Venzor, and their 1-year-old son, Carlos Romero. This entire time, anytime that I would say anything about Kerrville flood victims, or the flood victims at all, people would say, well, all the victims were upstream in Ingram and Hunt, but that's not the case. So I started digging, and I found Leonardo Romero's address. And I took a drive over there. And then it hit me. That video that I took on the 4th, I was staring right at that house. Trees that have been derooted and are now floating down the river over here. I'm actually grateful that that's all we've seen floating down. When I'm ready, we will.
We're looking at water.
Yes, we are.
For trees.
We were unaware of any fatalities at that time. We had really no way to know. I was blocked from Kerrville Breaking News. So I started researching Leonardo Romero and Natalia Venzor, and learned that their house didn't get swept away until 6:15 a.m. In fact, no post showed up in Kerrville Breaking News until 5:49 a.m. on the 4th. This was several hours after this event began. It was also 3 minutes after Michaela texted Justin McClure. From 5:49 a.m. until 5:59 a.m., 3 posts were made in the Kerrville Breaking News group. This is the last of which, at 5:59, posted by Leslie McClure. Last post of the morning, by the way. There were others. There was a video put to dance music. And there was this strange story told by Justin McClure, which made no sense because when Leslie's video was posted at 6:18, that's when the water was that high in Kerrville. They said they were on their way up to the radio station between 4 and 5 a.m., but the video that Leslie posted, the water was not that high then.
It happened. Now remind me again, so you guys got up early, and I think Leslie, your wife, was shooting video at what time? You guys got some important video.
I think we were on the way up to the station. It was before 5 a.m. And by the time that we got to where the lake house was,
yeah, right, that's right.
We looked over and saw that the lake house was underwater.
Now this is the 5:49 a.m. post. This was her first post of the morning. Now there were no posts after 6 p.m. that I have been able to find. And I've been looking since the flood. I cannot find any posts after 6 p.m. on the 3rd until 5:49 a.m. on the 4th. Here's the second post. Now, in either of these posts, do you see anything that would catch people's attention in either one of these posts? I don't. Here's the third post. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the third post. That was my post on the breaking news page at 5:36 a.m. So it starts with a call to action, post road flooding here, avoid low water crossings, turn around, don't drown. This is at 5:59 a.m. Leo Romero Jr. said he heard the water under his house at 6.
Mami, te amo con todo.
I thought that was it. I don't want to say I accepted it, but no, I mean, I thought I was going to die.
Leo Romero never went to sleep the night of July 3rd.
You know, I was awake all night playing just games.
Around 6 a.m. on July 4th, he heard the water.
I could hear water under the, under me. It wasn't inside.
He woke up his dad, his stepmom, and baby brother.
I mean, it was bad, but at that moment we were it's going to be okay. We didn't think what happened was going to happen.
What did you all do in that moment once you knew, okay, this is not going to be okay?
Yeah. My dad just tried to cover where the sliding door was. This was anything, just, boxes or with the table, but it just kept moving. We thought maybe we would still be okay, but then that's when the vents, water just started coming super fast from the vents.
His father told Leo and his stepmother, Natalia, to climb onto the couch, grab the curtains. Leo Sr. held his toddler son in the air.
Natalia was a member of Kerrville Breaking News for 2 years. And so at this point, I still wasn't 100% convinced. I mean, who's to say Natalia even had time to get on her phone? And then I saw this.
And after all this, she was so worried about losing her job at 6 o'clock in the morning. She called in to work to let him know that she wasn't going to be coming in because her house was flooding.
So Natalia was on her phone. She was a member of Kerrville Breaking News. And this was the last message that was posted when she was awakened. Avoid low water crossings. Turn around, don't drown. Post road flood. Whatever.
We're looking at water.
Yes, we are.
For trees.
This is the Guadalupe River. This is the loop and 173. On July 23rd, 2025, Michaela Taylor woke up and posted a question asking where the activity log was from the morning of July 4th. And there was no response, only a long post deflecting from the question. They didn't answer or even acknowledge about the activity log. Instead, they had this to say, buried in the post. We ask you today to look away. A group with 69.3 thousand members. And then they paused it. Originally for 51 days. And now the member count was at 68,600, down from 9.3K. Then 68.2 members. Then 67,000 members. Why was Kerrville Breaking News, the biggest news group ever in the Texas Hill Country and the most viral from day one, consistently all the way up until July 23rd, 2025, why was it paused the same day that Michaela Taylor asked to see the activity log from July 4th? Michaela started posting screenshots of the member count rapidly decreasing. Every couple hours, another couple hundred would be removed from the group. And then a new group was created, Kerr County Breaking News, and a link was shared at the top of Kerrville Breaking News. And that's when Justin admitted to deleting members out of Kerrville Breaking News starting the same day that they were asked to see the activity log from the flood from the morning of July 4th. He said, we started the task of trying to clean out the membership that was flooded in the recent month, but it has proven to be a huge task. Wait, did he tell on himself? To clean out the membership that was flooded in the recent month? This is the best, quote, fix we can come up with. The best fix they can come up with. Why would they delete members in a group that they're no longer accepting members or posts in? Why waste the time?
It happened. Now remind me again. So you guys got up early, and I think Leslie, your wife, was shooting video. At what time? You guys got some important video.
I think we were on the way up to the station. It was before 5 a.m. And by the time that we got to where the lake house was,
yeah, right, that's right.
We looked over and saw that the lake house was underwater.
Now, at first, I thought, you know what? Justin is a little older. Maybe his memory just kind of slipped or something. Certainly, he wasn't lying all the way from the beginning of the 4th. And then I came across this while I was watching a KHOU video from the morning of July 4th.
From Ken's 5 viewer, Leslie McClure, we heard from her and her husband, Justin, just a little while ago. They work at a local radio station there. They went out to help PD because they are journalists. So,
wait, what? They went out to help PD because they are journalists? At what time?
They went out to kind of survey the area. You can see water in some of those businesses and some of those homes, just terrifying. She posted that was kind of near Junction, and she posted that around 4 or 5 in the morning. So
4 or 5 in the morning. And this was the morning of July 4th, they were saying this.
At what time? You guys got some important video.
I think we were on the way up to the station. It was before 5 a.m. And by the time that we got to where the lake house was,
yeah, right, that's right.
We looked over and saw that the lake house was underwater.
But the lake house didn't get that high between 4 and 5 a.m. The flooding was still in Hunt, traveling down towards Ingram between 4 and 5 a.m. What are they hiding? And why haven't they released the activity log from July 4th? To this day, they still have not even acknowledged that the activity log exists. And there were journalists out helping the police between 4 and 5 in the morning? Let's go back and see when Chris McCall woke up. Holy smoke.